welcome back one more time for the final set of today. North America will conclude for now, at least on the beginning of week one. Adonis is joining me for the final set of the day. Enemy versus Eager.
I mean, this is really the one we've been waiting for. Unfortunately, though, Enemy won't have their full roster. They do have a sub for PandaCat, and it is going to be, I believe, Fearno, their normal substitute. So we'll see how he does in this set.
Before we go into that, though, there is a special chest going on right now for the Louisiana Flood Relief here for the American Red Cross. Every roll of the Independence chest between now and August 29th, we will donate $2 to the American Red Cross to help support that. So make sure if you want the Moose or you need Royal America still, go ahead and get it.
I mean, those are all awesome skins, so go out and support it if you can.
I don't think you can play any of those gods.
What?
I don't think you can even play any of those.
I can play Serket. Can we do one? Can we do a Serket one?
She wasn't on that list.
I can carry with her. That's probably about it, though.
Talk about Serket, though. djpernicus in the jungle for Eager. He plays a lot of Serket. Do you reckon we'll see that potentially?
Maybe. I think he'll pick that more for a pickoff composition. I think if he wants to run early game and look for a lot of ganks, he'll run it. And that's a strategy that Eager does go into. I think during the spring split, they solidified themselves as this early pressure team, right? A lot of Ravana, I think 12 over their 28 games, a lot of invade potential. Yep. They like running aggressive compositions. They like having that 3K lead by 10 minutes because they're very good at snowballing it.
Well, the opposition today, Enemy, the #1 team in North America right now in all standings, and you saw them actually go to DreamHack, only falling to Saw in the semifinals, which is a bit of a shock.
Enemy's come a long way. I mean, Enemy has just grown on, I think, everyone, and they are solidified as the first seed in North America right now. I mean, they took Panthera to all 5 games. It was phenomenal. The only team to do that outside of Paradigm and Cloud9 over the past year.
And Eager just barely missed out on those trips as well, but now they're back in action one more time and ready to face off against Enemy, and this one should be spicy the whole way through. We've mentioned already Eager very, very early game focused, maybe looking at getting control in the early stage, especially giving Divios dominant solo laners, but the opposition here, Enemy, very gold Furyk focus at getting those objectives.
Yeah, Khaos specifically runs a lot of mid mages that have high burst. Enemy, we know they like to go for those very early gold Furies. They like to sneak them specifically, going based off back timings and everything like that. They're a very calculated and teamfight oriented squad, despite the fact that I think their carries have actually stepped up significantly in this year. Not only is Marauder kind of coming into his own and he can match up with the best of them, but Khaos has been phenomenal. And then there's PandaCat. Unfortunately, PandaCat won't be playing today.
It's funny,
but I mean, he runs a lot of their late game.
I was going to mention Enemy and Eager here, two of the only teams unchanged really in terms of roster for North America. But with Fearno stepping in, I guess we can mention that. So Eager, I guess, a slight advantage here just because PandaCat's not here.
Yeah, there's two things, right? PandaCat's not here, obviously, but I don't think Eager's has been able to practice too significantly. I could be wrong, but Zapman was gone for about, I think, a couple weeks to a month, so Eager might not have got the practice ready, or the practice they needed to be ready for this matchup.
Well, we'll see how this matchup plays then, because Picks and Ban should be ready relatively soon between these two, and it will be Enemy with the first pick, first ban option here up against Eager.
I do expect Fafnir to be removed by Eager here. We've seen Pain very good with that god, the couple instances he has played it, and he seems... And right, Enemy like to go for these early gold Furies, and that's what Fafnir is almost designed for with that AoE coerce.
And when you say that as well, I mean, Eager's been tweeted a lot. They don't like Nemesis. They don't like dealing with Nemesis. So if they're not first pick scenario here, I'm pretty sure we could see them banning.
Enemy actually going to be banning Ho Yi away, though, from Zapman. And this may be a little bit them protecting Fearno, because Fearno, obviously, he's no PandaCat. He's played at high levels of Challenger. He has been Enemy sub for a while, and he's a very well-known ranked player that plays against the best in the world. But coming into the SPL is a much different story, so making sure he feels comfortable. And I love this. They also banned the Sobek away specifically because we know PainDeViande will look to pick off. Or excuse me, we know Aror, will look to pick him off.
Aror will look for those opportunities. He played it a lot last season. Mainly Ares, Fafnir, and Ares, Fafnir, Kumbhakarna is one of the 3 that I've really seen him on for the most part.
Kumbha was kind of that like spice pick he had.
But he still did the same sort of thing, and Auror's not scared to go over to the solo and apply pressure. However, Ban's slightly wrong there. No, it's not. It's the picks that were slightly wrong. It's Sol for Enemy as their first pick. So many things on the table, though, but they choose Sol.
I mean, Sol is this flex pick, and with the removal of Golden Bow, we've started to see these magical ADCs start to rise to power. The Sol, the Cronus, the Freya, they're all back. And having that flex option is very important, because then you can dictate whether you want the Sol in your core for that 3v3 fight, or if you want her to be this farm up late game monster.
And that's the key. It is flex right now. As Ravana once again back at it again is Divios here with this. Not a surprise to see him go to it. They're quite happy to let Divios 2v1 at the beginning of the game to give dominance in mid lane. Yeah,
they're a team that likes to run that blue into speed, and that gets DJ to mids faster, which means they get that slight edge, can look for the fire elementals as well with the rotation from Divios here. And they've paired it with a Neith for Zapman, and this is just a very safe. And once again, I think Eager are going to continue what they did in the spring. They're looking for high pressure early. They want want to invade, and they want to find these ganks where the Neith ult will help secure it.
Well, to secure for things about Ravana, 12 picks last split, 9 wins on that god for Divios. A good chunk there, but Erlang Shen is a new opponent for Divios' Ravana here, entering the meta.
And we've actually started to see some players switch over to the Erlang Shen instead of the Ravana.
Yeah.
He's someone who can match the pressure. I think Ravana still has the very early game advantage. Piranha Onslaught on a low cooldown can shred through opponents. A lot of slow potential, a lot of just poke potential from him. But Erlang Shen, once he gets past the super early, and it really comes down to that pin. It's on such a low cooldown at 12 seconds, and other solo laners have trouble clearing the wave while avoiding that pin.
And you can't really do that as Ravana for the most part, because you've got to get in the wave to punch it down. Obviously, your melee focus, and Erlang Shen pins you, clears the wave at the same time. Raijin for enemy as well, which dictates that Salt will be in the dual lane.
Last pick for Eager here. They could look for the support, but they could go for the jungle as well. Thor's an option here if they want to set up for that double global with the Neith Thor, try and look for ganks. Fenrir as well. This is actually something that DJ loves, and once again, we saw Eager run this at DreamHack specifically, and the whole point is to kill the support every time they come into mid camp.
And DJ
every single time.
DJ will go aggressive. He'll jump him the Unchained, and then if he gets in a bad situation, he'll disengage with the can't remember the name of the ability.
The jump.
Brutalize. Yeah,
brutalize. It's okay.
He'll brutalize away if he needs to get in trouble, but he's not scared of dying either. He's the highest diamond on the team of Eager from last split, but that's normal because he's the engager.
I mean, he's kind of he's their setup player for the most part. Aurora is almost like another carry, and DJ is just there to put his other players in a position to get early leads. And once again, I think we're going to see enemy have to draft a support that either has some form of CC immunity, some ability to get away for Fenrir, or almost probably has to go into the purification, because that's what Eager likes to run. They did the Sobek Awelix as well, and then the Fenrir is the other option they run for this.
Well,
the Fenrir Neith.
I mean, with Eager there, the bans Giannis and Agni. Agni, a ban against Eager is a very interesting one. Maybe something to do with scrims there. We may have seen Scylla come out from TheBest previously, but obviously with the changes to Power Pot, it seems Scylla's dropped out of playstyle here, so they go with the Zeus.
And yeah, I mean, Zeus puts out a lot of pressure, especially at those mid-harpies. The chain lightning obviously can bounce between players, and this just goes back to the high pressure. Now, Zeus is very similar to an Ares in a sense, where if you get behind, it gets very hard for you to farm. But as long as Eager has the advantage with looking at these lineups already, they should, right? The Ravana and the solo versus the Erlang Shen, at the very least, that'll be even. Neith obviously going to be able to dominate in the duel, although she is against a soul, which has kind of that equal push clear. And then Fenrir Zeus, just a lot of damage early on.
There's a lot of pressure on djpernicus this game on the Fenrir, because when I look at the lineup enemy have drafted here, a lot of disengage, a lot of escape ultimates with CC immunity, as well as disapparate for Sol.
Which
You've
is
got
important.
Raijin with the ultimate too, and then just to throw that in as well, Khepri, just to revive them if they do get in trouble.
And Khepri fell off pretty heavily. PainDeViande last season, especially at SWC, this was one of his main gods next to Athena. This split, or this season, we haven't seen supports value it as much. Obviously, it still has, decently strong push, but once again, it goes back to that. This is a support that can get picked off very easily, because when you go to the dual lane, a lot of times you just want to kill the Khepri, because he can cast revive on himself, right? But he's still just going to be in the same spot when it procs.
Well, we're straight into game this time round. Raw will go back to the areas that we've seen on before. A couple of minutes in, you can see the ward placements. There was no invades coming down, just a deep ward on the right-hand side from enemy, and one on the left, near the left-hand harpies there as well for this side of enemy. Sorry, of Eager, I should say, and enemy. As we go back to mid lane, Raijin putting the pressure on as much as he can, but a little bit of an advantage there for Best. He got there a little bit quicker.
And he's actually starting into the Dynasty play at Helm early on, so he wants to be very cognizant of Thor. He wants to know where Shattered is at all times on the map, because that's what's so dangerous about Zeus, is that sometimes you just can't push up and farm, and Best already caught out. Double tap connects here. Berserker's Barrage gonna follow the pin just off the mark, but might be enough damage. Best
buff.
No boots, one more hit. No! Is he gonna get out?
Good call from Chatter there to go in another tower. He knew he was going to be able to get in range with the speed buff to give him the mobility and take the tower shot and survive afterwards. First blood to enemy early on. That's exactly what you want.
And Zap getting pressured out as well. This is not what you want from the Neith. And now Ares really can't do anything in this lane. He has to play super passive and has to be very wary of that Thor once again.
Lobster's OP, man. Meanwhile, though, when I go back towards the jungler Shattered here, if you don't recognize that name, it's because it is Verizial. Changed his name since last split to Shattered now. Still the same kid, still the same lineup for enemy, other than Fearno replacing PandaCat for this set.
You're gonna actually Fearno getting poked out just as evenly, but this is a really good look from enemy. When you bring in a sub, you obviously want them to feel comfortable, and having lane pressure and also the fact that the other mid had already died.
In trouble, and there's a Thunder crashing from Khaos early, looking for the poke onto him, but instead, it was TheBest that got caught out of position. They'll trade 1 for 1, and DJ may turn it around with the brutalize, but no, Shattered with a great wall. Another rotation could spell disaster.
There's no way DJ gets out. Actually, he does jump over, but the dot is enough to kick him down from the blessing there, and already enemy off to 3 kills. This is not what you want. djBest, this composition was drafted to pick off supports. The issue is they've both taken early spills. Best 2 spills.
And when you look at the side of enemy here, the kills going to Thor is so very, very important. He is the engage for this team, especially with a Khepri. You have to rely on his engagement and the walls to really initiate for the team. So he needs to get those items to become tankier online.
And all of this stemmed from TheBest. I'm not exactly sure what was going on in the comms, but we saw DJ and Divios be stuck in lane. Shattered and Marauder made the rotation over to the mid-harpies, and Best is still there trying to just deal with Khaos. Was not aware that that rotation was coming to pick him off.
Well, Speedboat's about to respawn. You can see Best and djpernicus on the right-hand side of your map doing back harpies, waiting for that to happen as Marauder on the same side of the map doing fire elementals there at the same time for the time being, as level 5 has been reached by Fearno in the dual lane.
I'm not even looking at Fearno. I'm looking at Shattered as level 5 right now. 3 minutes in, the dual lane Aror still level 4. They need to be very aware of where Shattered is rotating around the map. The wards at the start of the game have already fallen off, so they're going to have to set up some new ones soon.
They're going to find Pernicus, and a good bit of poke onto him as well there, but the wall already on cooldown means the extra poke is good, but it's not enough to secure a kill. They will look off the back of that, though, invading the speed buff.
And DJ has to give it up. He knows he can't be in this position. He's just going to clear the mid wave and then focus on his red buff. If Eager try and fight this, they're going to lose. DJ's not 5. He did just hit it, but he was 2 poked out as well. They've got to concede.
And not only that, Marauder went to back base so quickly, ready for this speed buff invade, that he was ahead of Divios, so getting into the enemy jungle and securing the blue buff.
And a really good job by this dual lane as well. You could see rotating over to protect their own red. Because enemy put so many players in the right side jungle, DJ's first instinct was to clear that wave, not secure his own red. He actually, I think, wanted to peek into the other red, but with the soul making his way there, wasn't going to happen.
Marauder, double tap as well. Divios in trouble, forced to ult away, but there will not be a tower dive now. They do force him back to base, and Divios, he's already lost a teleport, and this could be risky from Eager now.
The thing is, though, Marauder's ult is down. He's low mana as well. Shattered, also very low mana. This is a good invade, but DJ's got to play it perfectly.
Ragnarok online as well, and he jumps away, but the damage coming out from the Raijin is just so monumental. Still, Shattered will live, and Aror now isolated alone away from his team. Who's going to get the kill?
I mean, he's going to fall. It's just a matter of time at this point. Marauder gets it, and PainDeViande tossing the ult on Khaos just in case that Aror hit a chain, because that might have spelled his death. And right now, I mean, Eager, they wanted to play for the early game, but because we saw those early deaths, they tried to continue to force it, and now they've spiraled out of control. It's only 1800, so it's not a death sentence right now, but 5 minutes in, and you run the early game aggression comp,
Less than 5 minutes, and because of that, you can see Khaos goes back to base, full shoes of the Medjay line. His lane opponent here in TheBest only boosts 1 at the moment. The goal difference between the two is actually only 200, but it's just that TheBest hasn't had a chance to go back.
And the main thing, too, is when we saw that invade, Khaos actually sat in the entirety of the Zeus ult, or at least most of it, got at least triple stacked, took the detonate, and it did almost nothing.
I held my breath for a second then when that Thor ult came crashing down.
Yeah, I was like, wait, is DJ on Thor?
Like, hang on a second. But Shadow's still going in. He just used his hammer as well. Going to get some extra poke on TheBest there. Chain landing a little bit off the mark, but the poke is good.
Tried to wall him off from the tower there, but there was just that little crevice that he could escape through.
While that's happening though, DJ in the solo lane tries to gank Marauder, and he bit off a little bit more than he wanted to here. Divios may need to support his Ante, because still Marauder's going in.
And he got the purification as well. DJ taking a little bit too long. And a full rotation from enemy to this right side. Khaos and Pain, and they baited DJ, who jumped forward.
World Weaver came out as well there from Zapman, looking to help pressure and turn that one on its head, but instead it's another kill the way of enemy.
And this is only hurting Divios, because not only did DJ soak up the experience, but then he fell. He's only level 6 at 6 minutes. That is not where you want to be at as a jungler right now.
Well, it's also, I'm looking at Khaos in the mid lane here. 006 involved in every single one of these kills we've seen so far. Hasn't been credited with a kill, but his rotations around the map have been very monumental in getting this lead. And the fact Marauder's got 3 of those kills, so detrimental for Divios.
Oh, the wall's going to be perfectly placed as well. Best on the wrong side of his tower. Pin, and the double tap connects. He is going to get out, but just barely.
But it cost him his purification as well. Now Aror going aggressive again with the chains, but now being on cooldown, he doesn't have any follow-up. DJ was waiting in the wings.
His ultimate was down, though. He tried to have that, or excuse me, force that initiation onto Marauder. A really good recognized play by Eager there. Figure out exactly what enemy we're going to do. Found the counter, but it was at the cost of purification.
Well, third speed buff of the game has now spawned. You can see Eager trying to do it. Pain on his own, looking for a cheeky steal. Not going to find it, however, as he was on his own this time round. Most of his team had gone back to base. Marauder will get a bit of solo lane pressure here, and with that wave, it shows that Eager will not attempt to try and fight.
You want to know the biggest part of this game is it's not even like enemy are forcing too much or trying to do these super heavy, risky invades. They're actually playing off of what Eager had done for at least the early game right now, and they've only done, what, 1 invade on his speed?
Ragnarok onto Marauder, taking him between the tier 2 and tier 1 tower, allowing Best to be able to get in here as well. The heal comes out from Marauder, and DJ's the one in trouble, but the World Weaver coming through. We may get the first blood for Eager, denied by PainDeViande, but only for a moment, as now Pain is going for a wild ride.
Khaos is around the corner here, not going to be able to stop anything. Eager finally on the board, 2 kills, really smart rotation from them overall. And also Aror, he chains Khepri because PainDeViande just wants to ult Scarab's Blessing, put it on Marauder, and then dash away so they both get out. Instead, Aror hits the chains. He lets the Scarab's Blessing go. The second Marauder is revived, down goes Zeus ult. Nothing enemy can do.
Good chain lightning coming out there onto Shattered, and he's in a lot of trouble, but Khaos will get credit for the kill on Best. He just evaporated off the map, but now with the Thunder Crash being down, there's no escape for Khaos.
I mean, just one more hit here. The kill should go to DJ. He really needs it at this point. 2 kills on the board, and he's even up the level. He was 2 behind Marauder now, already back to even.
This is actually helping out Eager a lot. Those last 4 kills in a row have really managed to spike them back into the game. Look at the gold, look at the experience that's dropped back into an even game here. Enemy started to bite off a little bit too much too early. They weren't tanky enough. They couldn't capitalize further on their leads, and instead they've been punished for doing that.
And with the 1K lead, you know, I talked about how Eager wanted to run the high pressure, but it's really not that bad of a position to be in because they still have a Zeus, which, if left untouched in a late game team fight, you will get wiped by.
And he is currently level 9 alongside Khaos in the mid lane now, so has managed to even things up. Got a bit of defense online as well now, just as we were mentioning, but that's mainly focused on making sure Shattered doesn't come in on that Thor.
And, you know, Shattered, we haven't really seen him go for too many, you know, ultimate ganks. The dual lane's been completely ignored so far. It's more him trying to wall off the Best and just set up with just his double tap poke.
I think this is wise from enemy here, honestly. Just ignore the dual lane, ignore Zapman this game. He's on Neith, that's fine. But as long as Fearno isn't feeding him or getting killed over and over again, this is great. Let Fearno just get into the late game and farm up. You don't want to put pressure on your substitute Hunter.
And that's one of the things, too. I believe Neith was picked very early by Eager after enemy already had Soul, which means they said, okay, Soul can match Neith in clear. Yeah. And it's a very safe god,
when
so
you mentioned about ults,
just keep
Shattered
him alive.
Is in the sky, looking at Divios right now, will land. No escape available at all for Divios into the last second. The ultimate is through. Great will from Zapman should slow down Marauder for a second. Another rotation is also here, but look at that, Marauder still picked up the kill with a pin.
DJ trying to take some damage here. He is going to juke out most of it, but no taunt coming up from Khaos, just maxing the damage there. No one else on enemy really could dive into it.
But they can look at the speed buff now because they picked up a kill again in the solo lane. Marauder may have died for that, but he will be able to strip away more jungle from the side of Eager.
No way DJ gets this speed here, uncontested. But in the meantime, Zap is not only able to get free farm in the left-hand side, he also steals away the speed, or excuse me, Red, also now going to be able to steal away the spores, and that's because Fearno had to cover the mid lane.
He covered the mid lane, but I think that Zapman just showed an experience of knowing that there was not going to be a big enough engagement for him to have to rotate there. Stick in lane, use your World Weaver, get a bit of a lead here, get some items ahead.
Right-hand side, Shattered still sticking around here. And I think it's just for poke. Marauder is around, and actually Khaos making the rotation as well. This team's really trying to pick on Divios.
And he's got no ultimate this time round as well, remember that one. But he will get back to his tower range, but there's Khaos as well. And Khaos goes in, but immediately disengages as Eager are doing the Gold Fury.
Fearno here trying to stop it. PainDeViande rotating in as well. And enemy stole it. Fearno, the substitute, comes up with the amazing Gold Fury steal at only 11 minutes.
That's the only thing you got to do. You try and burst it down, but you got to be careful. If you don't have a Wrath, you have the damage secure. And I tell you one thing, Supernova does. Not only that, enemy now split pushing the right-hand side as Divios was forced back to base. They may even get a tier 1 tower here as well. everything's coming up enemy.
That's one of the weaknesses of Aror on this Ares, is that he really does not have that strong of appeal. He can't zone people out. If he connects his chains and does a fair bit of damage, sure, but once he missed that first chain, it was over.
Well, the start of the game got off very well for enemy here. They got a good substantial lead, but then just kept going a bit too aggressive and allowed Eager back in. But then, since then, they've slowed things down for a second and gone back to what they were doing best, and that was finding picks and finding rotations. And it's just unfortunate Eager did not find that Gold Fury.
Ooh, once again, Divios actually the overhead kick just as Thor comes crashing down, and DJ's already ready to pick him off on the rotation.
Marauder picking up Purification as TheBest was rotating through the jungle. Meditate comes out to keep him alive. Another chains are good from Aror, going to force Khaos away.
He has no mana.
Slowly limping away. The curse from Aror. He's going to sear the flesh of the Raijin, but guess what? Khepri's there to the rescue.
And Shattered's taking care of Best in the backline as well. He was so low. I don't know how he managed to get picked off, but it happened. Shattered still has hammer and speed buff, but all of enemies surrounding him right now.
But a good Purification from Shattered, but still following up his Pernicus, so the Purification goes to waste. As Zapman, though, rotated to mid lane.
It's the reverse.
Fearno gets the opportunity.
Yeah, last team fight, Zapman was able to find the split push, although not the tower. He elected for the red buff instead. And this time, Zap covers the mid lane as Fearno just gets that tower unnoticed.
There's so much to talk about in this game, but the speed of the fights and the engagements over and over again just makes everything so much difficult as the tier 1 on the right is going to fall
could be in trouble.
Pain
He's got no ult. I mean, he's going to miss his route, too. Going to get one chain, two chain. Pops his shell, just trying to stay alive. And that is going to deter Eager from continuing that.
That was really smart from Pain, honestly. By doing what he did there, he cleared the wave and hung around like, you can kill me, you know, I'm really low. And in trade, if you do kill me, we'll keep the tower alive. It's not the worst trade in the world, and in the end, they don't get either.
13 minutes in. Enemy still in the lead, though. 3K off that stolen Gold Fury. I mean, if the Gold Fury goes the other way, Eager has this.
Oh, well, it's an even gold. I'd say it's
lead.
even gold by then. Maybe a 1K lead in favor of enemy still. But swings and roundabouts is the call here for the time being. As now you can see right on Harpy's about to spawn in about 20 seconds time here. But everybody just chilling out and farming again, waiting for the next Gold Fury or contested Harpies.
Looking at the relics right now, Eager just starting to get their second ones online, and we haven't really been able to talk about that. Enemy doing a better job of farming overall. They have the experienced lead. A lot of that backing, you know, coming off those invades.
Well, Best trying to get some
How does he survive this?
In the duo lane. They don't see him, though. That's the main thing. He couldn't see it around the corner of the wall, just covered the option. Right inside, though, Marauder now being able to beat down Divios even more as we're hitting mid-game, and he's been so focused because of it.
You know, funny enough, a lot of people underestimate that, both against Rom, although Apollo's a little bit different because he can circle around, but Rom and Thor specifically, you can hide on those walls. If you do happen to hear the audio signal go off of either of their ultimates, you can just make it hard for them, and they can't see you, so they've got to guesstimate, and that doesn't always go in their favor.
Guesstimate.
Guesstimate. I made up that word.
It's not often you get that.
Someone else made up that word.
Quick pause coming out there. You saw Marauder having a few technical issues quite clearly on the screen at the end of that. But a good start for enemy so far. And to be fair, Eager's response was good up to a point, but then swung back.
I think it was the first 6 kills, I believe, were unanswered on enemy, which is obviously not a situation Eager wants to be in, but they really utilized the Neith ult specifically to have that, you know, in quotes, extra player in those fights. Once enemy had the slight couple thousand gold lead, they started to try and pressure it, which is what they did need to do. They wanted to make sure that they could expand that into a bigger lead, but the issue is they didn't account for the Neith ult and got punished for it.
Well, Marauder with that tier 1 tower being down, going deep into the enemy jungle, stealing away back. Harpy's there, trying to get some pressure onto him to allow his team to pressure elsewhere, mainly the tier 1 tower mid lane. But they will get the left-hand Harpies here, and you can see Fearno now rotating around Marauder as the tower's down.
Just look at Marauder, though. I mean, so pushed up into the tier 2, he's not worried about anything. However, Eager, they do have a composition that can shut him down, and I like that Marauder had gone into that purification. We saw it used the last time DJ tried to pick him off.
Left-hand side, though, TheBest has now switched things up here, going to the duo side to try and get farm. Best falling a little bit behind there against Khaos in the mid lane. Well, there's the aggression onto Zap, forcing the backflip.
There's actually a good amount of poke and siege coming out from enemy. They have not only the Thor hammer, but the Raijin and Thunder Crash, so that's a little bit more risky. They've also got Soul with the Stellar Burst. Enemy wants to be in a position where they don't just hard engage, they kind of just want to poke players down and then initiate on top with the Thor ult afterwards.
Or just position yourself so well in the front line that you can take a tier 1 tower for free. That's all the tier 1 towers down on the side of Eager now. And you can see enemy heading into the jungle, probably going to back ward up and maybe even bait for the Gold Fury.
Well, Shattered's backing in an awkward spot, and with him down, Enemy aren't going for the Gold Fury just yet. Khaos as well. And this is enemy actually staggering their backs. PainDeViande doesn't need to do anything right now, and so they all just back separately, so Eager can't bum rush him with the numbers advantage.
It's also funny as well, because I sort of said it in the cast, but Marauder took Purification this game, which I think is a very smart call.
Yes.
As they kept trying to focus him over in the solo lane. And when you've got an Ares to deal with the no escape, you're going to get pulled every single time unless you get it.
Oh, Thor in the sky here, and Zapman pushed up. May not know this is happening right now. Looking for the backflip.
I don't think he will.
And Shattered just off the mark. I think out of range.
Looking more for damage than anything else there. There was 3 members there. He couldn't have committed with just Fearno and found a kill. But that is a telltale sign for Eager now that they've got a bit of a power play opportunity with Shattered not having his ultimate up.
It's not the best power play opportunity, because I don't think enemy are going to look to force anything, and I think Eager don't really want to initiate. They've had a better job of playing off of what enemy has done in the past 10 minutes, where they just let enemy overextend themselves and pick them off with the Ragnarok.
The Gold Fury has been started by enemy here. Zapman gets hit for a double tap, and find that is going on. Going to slow them down with the Unravel. Very wise to do so, as TheBest is still under pressure as the drums of war from Khaos are connecting.
He's trying to stay alive. Didn't have the second relic yet, and Khaos has already picked him off. Now Khaos getting chained down thanks to Aror, but PainDeViande with the ultimate, and Divios is going to be the one dealing with that as the left-hand side shattered, force Zapman and the rest of Eager back to their tower.
But it's not all doom and gloom there for Eager. The Gold Fury does still stand, and that's one of the big important factors here. They can stop enemy from getting this one. It's almost okay because TheBest was so far behind.
Aror still has ult as well, which means this isn't going to be as free. There's still 2 Purification on the side of enemy, but Shattered needs to be very careful of Aror for the next 130 seconds.
There's only 5 seconds till TheBest is back up. We'll have Sanctuary this time around. He did mention he didn't have his second relic online there, was level 13, but that fight just came at the worst possible time for him.
And I'm assuming enemy actually forced that, because you could see they had 3 players on the Gold Fury, and then they had Khaos initiate on TheBest when he tried to rotate from mid lane into the jungle.
Well, you said 3 players on the Gold Fury, and that's exactly what they've got right now. As the 4th joins to Marauder, Pure Duty is his name. Zapman will not recognize this in time. The Gold Fury goes the way of enemy, completely uncontested. They just realized the opportunity.
And PainDeViande sitting in the mid lane there maybe just baits Eager into thinking that enemy aren't going to go for it without their support being there. He has the team fight relics with the sprint and the shell, and Eager probably like, oh, they're not going to risk it with Pain not there, because we could pick them off and force a fight.
So Eager kind of side the tier 2 towers now. Nothing in the jungle for them to really look for. Enemy, though, they want to check if there's any buffs available. The speed is currently down, and they're just looking to bite off more of the enemy jungle.
One thing that's not really good for Eager is that they've got 2 players that just built into Hide of the Urchin. Like, just look at the last items completed across Eager. Breastplate of Valor, Hide of Urchin, Spirit's Robe, Hide of Urchin. The Hide of Urchins are not efficient without having the stacks, which means other defensive items would have been better for them here in this position. But it's also, they've built into so many defensive items right now. I don't know if they have the damage.
The wall comes into play, and under pressure is Divios here, being hit up by Marauder. It's not enough to kill him, though. That Breastplate of Valor and the Frostbound Hammer paying off for him, but Divios will need to take a trip back to base, and it looks like enemy camping this lane looking for a rotation potentially.
I don't think they can force this tower. This is way too much of a risk. PainDeViande's on the wrong side of the map, and I think Aror recognizes that as well. He's going to find Khaos, triple chain. Not enough to kill here, but the Neith ult is intercepted by Marauder.
I don't even think that knew it was coming in time, otherwise Khaos could have been dead there. Good wall from Shattered to make sure they can't follow up any further, but Aror single-handedly just half health the mid laner of enemy.
I mean, he did more than that, right? The Searing Flesh, the Neith ult gets intercepted, and Khaos he's at yellow, right? That is all Auror's damage where you see Khaos' health bar at right now. Well, not right now, but before, you know what I mean.
Blue buff being taken by enemy on the right-hand side, but Eager choosing to group up in mid lane here. They feel this is the best option for them. Allow Divios to pick up a bit of farm and keep 4 together.
Shatter's in the sky.
Yeah, I just saw Thor go up, and I think they did too, the side of Eager.
They're separating here, and Shattered's not going to get off a good ult. He is going to see DJ in his own jungle, but DJ's just going to waddle back over to Divios, make sure he can try and soak up some farm. Eager trying to force that because Khaos had to back.
But now enemy have all turned up here too. At 19 minutes in, the look towards the Fire Giant is a call. I think it's mainly for kills, not for the actual kill. But the Spirit Arrow goes off from Zapman, misses as well as the wall from Shattered.
And that was Shattered not even noticing Zapman. He just naturally is going that weaving in and out when he's in a position so he doesn't get caught unaware of exactly what's happening there.
Caught. Fearno's Disapparate is just gone on cooldown there. But luckily enough, Eager did not decide to engage onto that, looking for the pick on Sol.
Aror does have Blink, but I don't think he he wants to go in by himself without the rest of his team around. And because there's so many purification on the side of enemy, they will be able to get out, although DJ is in trouble.
Completely CC'd to high heaven, but he will escape for now.
Nice,
the drone was used by Khaos there. That being on cooldown is a big ultimate. But at this stage of the game, enemy can just sit back and wait for that cooldown to come off again.
And Eager, they're happy with that too. As long as enemy aren't trying to pressure their lead even more, it's about 5k right now. They're okay with farming up because Best is only level 14 at 20 minutes, which is not where he wants to be. They want to get him. They want to get his damage items online because he only has Shoes of the Magi right now. Dynasty Plate Helm is obviously that good bridge item, you know, very cheap, has some penetration and magical power, but it's not that strong like a Soul Reaver.
Best walk around the corner, drop to Warden.
He's so
got
slow.
Spotted there.
Nice
They were
juke.
off the mark there from PainDeViande, and this was enemy trying to find out if they were going for the fire jump, but instead there's an engage and it's on Pain.
This is heavy onto Pain, trying to get his Scarab's Blessing off, and he will, so he will be revived. And now Eager trying to disengage, but shattered on top. DJ into his own tower here.
Shattered zoned away too for the time being as the aggression continues in the jungle. Marauder is currently running down Zapman, and finally Zap gets some help in terms of peel, forcing Marauder out. But as you can see in terms of the damage done between those two teams, it went in the favor of enemy.
And Eager invested so much into killing PainDeViande, but they don't find it. They do find Khaos though. The pool is good, and all 5 members of enemy.
And the chains are down onto him too, so he can't Thunder Crash away for now. Great supernova from Fearno though will stop Eager as they try to channel through the path. Still standing tall is Khaos as Pernicus falls down, and to the backline goes Marauder.
2-man taunt coming out from Marauder. Chased down into the tower. Best on 1 life. 1 more hit. Shattered finds it. And here comes Aror as well. Marauder just so tanky right now.
Marauder picks up 2 quick kills with the help of his team there as he just went straight to the back. They didn't find Khaos, which is what Eager committed for. They knew his purification was down, so they knew they could pull him with a no escape. But the supernova from Fearno was just on point.
And Fearno has been a phenomenal sub so far. 13 kills on enemy. He's only been a part of 3 assists right now. But really, he didn't feed to Zapman. And that was his only job.
Yep.
Do not get behind Zapman. Obviously, Zapman can have that Neith ultimate, and it helped Eager stay relevant in the mid game specifically. But it just, Zapman has not had a major impact into this game.
Well, Divios on the right side, looking for a bit of aggression on PainDeViande. I didn't realize there was 2 teammates there with the side of enemy as well. So the goal lead still sits at about 5,000 in favor of enemy here. No, actually closer to 6, I'd say. And then 7,000 experience at 22 minutes in. Normally, I wouldn't say too much about that, but when nobody's level 20, it's quite a lot.
It's significant. You can see the differences, and I'm mostly looking at Best right now. We're 23 minutes in. He's only level 14, and the issue is he has 6 deaths, and he's built tanky. Right? At this point, you almost just want to... He almost should have just built damage because he's dying when he's out of position anyway.
Opportunity for Eager here. Enemy unaware this is going on, or are they? They were just clearing wards out of the Fire Giant, it seems. They're not actually committing to the Fire Giant because there's no one there. So instead, free goal view to Eager, but as Pain realizes what's going on, his boys have started the Fire Giant.
And Divios smells it out, though. You can see quickly Shattered backs off. Really good just awareness from Divios because everyone was off the map outside of PainDeViande. Let me just check Fire Giant.
That definitely keeps Eager in this game, that Goal Fury going their way as well. If that enemy goes to enemy, it's a completely different story in the tail of this game.
Shattered. Ooh, really weird wall there. Don't see that too often. And Divios here, forced out on the right-hand side. Enemy still trying to push their advantage because Eager actually hasn't had time to back and spin that gold they just got.
I also think because Goal Fury is down now, enemy know they can just commit hard to the Fire Giant side of the map. They can look to siege this up, try and pull in the boys of Eager, and when they walk through those pathways, you get supernovas and pins like we just saw from Marauder.
The question is this a bait for a fight or a commit? And it seems like a bait for a fight. Marauder found a 2-man taunt, but the rest of the team stuck to Fire Giant.
Shattered goes to the sky, looks around, chooses his target wisely, looking for the
Zap.
gap. It's mainly Zap, it seems, but if he can find the best, he'll do that instead. Instead, he crashes onto Divios, purifies away from the dangers. The drums came out from Khaos there. It's great poke, but it's not enough for a kill as Marauder's now in trouble.
Eager actually able to reset somehow. Scarab's Blessing keeps Marauder alive. Aror, he needs to get off this pull, but it's not in time.
But he goes down at the same time as the rest of Eager. They didn't expect it to go through either. They back away. They're so low here. Marauder looking for the pin, not going to find it on Zap. As Pain just off the mark with the abduct.
I mean, that was just a very lucky timing coming out from DJ, but there's still 5 members of enemy and only 3 of Eager. Now only 2. The Zeus ult comes out, but everyone's already backed off.
And the call from enemy isn't the tier 2 tower, it seems. They're all going to limp away into the jungle. I'm not sure they feel healthy enough to do the Fire Giant, but DJ's back and Khaos. Ooh.
Don't lazy back there, Khaos.
Could have been caught out. Instead, enemy decide to try and use this man advantage they've got with Zapman being dead for 40 seconds here. It looks like they're going to go back to base.
Oh, they baited DJ. No, DJ caught out here. He is going to be pulled in. No purification online for him. Does get the jump off just barely. And Eager will be able to get him out.
They've got Aror just spawning, but still Zap's dead for 25 seconds here. Marauder
really,
going to continue giving chase on purpose, trying to slow the back to allow his team team to commit to the Fire Giant.
It's only Divios. And Best is going to be zoned by Marauder if he tries to do this, but enemy just, they don't feel comfortable with the numbers they have. PainDeViande a little bit too poked out. Also, the only ultimate online at that time was shattered. There's no reason to risk going for FG there.
Neither team able to do anything as Marauder looking to steal
Did
the
he get
speed, and I think he actually did do that, did Marauder there. Little cheeky pen over the wall.
Brutal.
Gets himself a bit of an advantage, and there's a jump for joy.
And he's also gone into the chin size. He's got 2 deaths to his name, but he's just so naturally tanky, and right now, Eager just don't have the levels or the items online to kill him. So he can go this greedy build and get away with it.
I mean, when you look at the whole comp of Eager here, they're all defensive. Although a Transcendent coming out from Divios here.
Okay. Hey man, I just let Divios. He's like one of those people you just. All right, man. I trust Divios to know what he's talking about when it comes to just like innovation in the solo lane builds. This is going to give him a lot of power, and I think he's in the same situation as Marauder, where he feels tanky enough not to die. He's also not the focus of enemy, so he can kind of go this route.
And you mentioned Marauder. Well, he's gone for chins here as well. That's going to be effective for him in the team fights, especially very melee focused.
And it's also you look at what it is, right? Best is the primary magical damage, and Aror has a decent amount, obviously just being Ares, but he doesn't have Shoes of the Magi. He doesn't have, Void Shield or Void Stone. And also, if Auror's trying to chain Marauder, Eager are probably going to lose the fight.
Well, the Fire Giant's been pulled very slowly here. Not a lot invested into it. Pain's on zone duty at the moment. Going to force his Medjais there. Is djpernicus with that Unchained, and Divios was swinging around the back to listen in to see if the Fire Giant was being done. Only at half health here, and they're taking a long time. Not taking a lot of poke, though, enemy from doing this. Doing a good job of juggling aggro, but now Eager commit.
And Marauder chained out right now, forced to Purify, gets the heal off early. He needs to get the heal before he dies. One hit, and there he has it, just barely.
But at the same time, Pain did invest his ultimate in that one. Over the wall comes Divios' Khaos, looking for the best takeout. Zeus as much as you can. And Fearno's trying to pick him up too on the back with Disapparate. Now they're chasing him for the best, but Aror, good zone duty. He's looking at Marauder. Marauder very low. Marauder will fall to Aror as Shattered does finally get to the back line.
Best can't stay alive. Zapman gonna get double tapped as Shattered still trying to deal with it. In the meantime, Divios in the middle of 3. Auror's there to support him, but Divios still has nothing to get out. Cursed used, just trying to help him, but it's just not gonna be enough. Zapman very low as well, gets hit by the hammer. The pool off the mark, but Pain's still diving.
And Pain quite happy to tank that one for his team, allow his team to go through and look for the pick on the Zapman. Is in the back line too. There's still an engagement going on as djpernicus was looking for a pickup, but he couldn't find it. In the end, it turns on its head and he gets the kill.
Oh, Aror stays alive and actually finds Khaos there. I think Khaos might have been lazy backing. He was able to pick up Zapman at the end of that fight there, but staying around a little bit too long. Still not going to be a Fire Giant by enemy. They actually elect to give it up. I mean, it was only 3 players, and they did have to worry about Auror's ult.
If they do take the Fire Giant there, well, 2 members won't get it at the moment, at least for a few more seconds. Anyway, 19-8 in the scoreline here, and it's all about the Fire Giant tonight. Nobody's caring about towers. Nobody's looking at split pushing. It's basically man fights all day.
And this has gone in favor of Eager. Not necessarily because of the kills or anything, but enemy haven't been able to increase their lead, which has helped Eager catch up significantly. Players are starting to hit level 20, which means they're not getting any stronger on the side of Eager.
Well, there's still
enemy.
There's still a 3-level difference between the 2 mid laners here, although the best is back online. Aror first back to the Fire Giant to look at what's going on. Trying to slow down Eager. So enemy going to commit to this one very heavily. Can they get it? No! Eager steal the Fire Giant! Eager come up big, and I believe that was the best.
And a Marauder here trying to pick off Aror as Divios is lined up in the back line. Aror will fall here, only matter of seconds, but Marauder taking so much poke, and DJ's still in this fight trying to take out Fearno.
Yeah, Divios looking in the back line really for it there, but the overhead kick now on cooldown, and great ult back in. He separated him, forcing the ult from PainDeViande, but Shattered is going to the sky. This is great from Eager. They did lose Aror, but it was worth for the Fire Giant.
And it's only a 6k difference still. They might be able to pressure out one of these towers at the very least. They have the speed buff stolen, and that was just a little bit enemy, I think, being over anxious. Aror comes in, Marauder burns his taunt on him. I think it was Best who stole it, if I'm not mistaken.
It was, I believe it was the Best with detonate.
Unless it was a chain that Aror had up, but I think it was on cooldown.
Whoever it was, Eager come out on top, and because of that, they get tier 1 tower. Now they can swing around for the Gold Fury. They've got more towers to shred. This gold lead is about to evaporate on the map.
They might even try and bait this right now.
Unless enemy want to fight. It looks like that's what enemy want to do. Look at them in the jungle there. Eager
I love this.
respects that.
I
so
love
they're
this.
Going to back up.
Eager just giving the respect to enemy. And enemy, it is kind of risky if they try and pull this. Eager just they don't necessarily want to force the Gold Fury right right now. They just want to utilize this Fire Giant buff to even up the game. They're not trying to get too over-aggressive.
And on the other side of things here, Enemy, they may look for the Gold Fury here. They're trying to slow down what they can do with the Fire Giant Eager, but instead, they'll take the engage. They feel they're good enough for this one. Zeus is down, however, as well. Khaos going to get the ult across 4 members of the team. It's not a whole lot of damage as that shell really paid off.
And Marauder on the side, right? We talked about how he went this very greedy build, and we're seeing him getting shredded in these fights right now. 0 magical protection outside of the little bit that Spirit's Robe provides, and no health in his build.
You know what? I just said Shell thinking Eager had one by how little damage they took, but they didn't. It's just because they're so tanky, the side of Eager here. It's paying off. Good zone duty from Divios. Gets the Gold Fury for Eager this time round, but Pernicus will pay with his life.
It's these magical damage carries on enemy that are doing so much. There's the Neith and a perfect Sanctuary Shatter down as well, just trying to protect Khaos for now. Divios looking for the ultimate. He wants to dive into the backline, but he doesn't have the opportunity right now. Shattered, chained, perfect purification to make sure he can hammer away.
Aror is in a lot of trouble there. He will get picked up by Zapman, who came through with a crit at the end of that one too. And in the jungle, you could tell PainDeViande forced to ult himself and run back to base. The Fire Giant is still on 3 members of Eager here. They can siege the tier 2 tower.
I'm really surprised that we didn't see Divios chase down Fearno there. Disapparate was down, his ult was down, Stellar Burst was down. Instead, though, playing it safe. Eager, 21-9 in kills. They're down significantly in kills, but the goal difference is only 1,200, and the experience difference has almost been completely negated.
I mean, but that experience difference is still level 20s is the difference, right?
It's best. It's really the best that matters here for the level 20. And he's only level 18.
And if he can get that level 20, though, things will be even completely between these two teams. Towers pretty much shredded between both here, both with a tier 2 tower removed from the map so far.
Yeah, you know, funny enough, like I didn't think going into the protections and the defensive build style that Eager have, which they've been known for, was going to work out. But enemies' just continuous aggression without being able to secure the kills actually delayed the game long enough for Eager to start to come online, specifically around that Zeus.
And when you look at Zeus, I mean, he's got, what, 2 defensive items in there for the most part? Then you look at the side as well of djpernicus in the jungle. He's pretty much all defensive other than Jotun.
I mean, DJ's always been like this. This is his playstyle, especially on Fenrir. It's really, the goal is to pick off players, right? Just force purification by someone else, and then you come on top with the Ragnarok. Or DJ forces the purification with Ragnarok, and then Aror finds the pool.
Well, Eager got themselves back into this game now. Fire Giant on for a little bit longer, not too much, however, and they're looking to try and make the most of it with this tier 1 tower on the left-hand side.
DJ actually split pushing on the right-hand side, just trying to catch up and farm for now, although he is pretty healthy in his build. He only needs 1 more item right now. Shadow doing his speed, and DJ's going to run into him, but I don't think DJ wants to take that fight.
I don't think so even. Neither of them really want to take it, because if they do get caught out of position, either one of them, this could turn on its head in terms of how this game's going to be played, but they both need to defend this right-hand lane, and that's why DJ was looking to pressure after Mark with the hunt there. Now, actually, with all those abilities being down, DJ could have got aggressive.
He already used his jump and his brutalize, though. He just tried to get some basics off, and Shattered has too many ways to escape because he has the Magi's Blessing, which means DJ needs to stack up 5 runes to force the Magi's Blessing before he can Ragnarok. And when he Ragnaroks, he's probably not exactly sure what the timer on Purification for Thor is, because it was such just a hectic fight when it got used.
I'm kind of looking at the super sub here as well, though. Fearno comes in for PandaCat this game.
The silent killer.
The only guy in this game that hasn't died when there's been 30 kills. That's a pretty good achievement considering the level of play that we expect out of these two teams.
I mean, this is just positioning, and the magical damage from enemy has just been paying off so much. Khaos able to shred djpernicus. That was before, I believe, the Bulwark, though, so it might be a little bit different now. And then you see the Supernova on top as well. DJ, who built tanky, wants to get in these fights, but he's not able to get away with it.
Well, Shad in the mid lane needs to be careful of the members of Egos on the right-hand side. You saw Divios having to deal with multiple members of enemy swinging back to that side. The Fire Giant respawned again, and we'll have the siege one more time. Enemy, well, they were the ones trying to force
this time much different
every time. I think it'd be a different story.
And Best has Rod of Tahuti online, so there's 0 lack of damage coming out from the Zeus, and now it's just a poke fest, and that was a lot of poke.
But he's not used backflip yet, Zapman, but he needs to time this well.
He's going to get away.
Or Sanctuary. Meanwhile, Fearno picks up djpernicus in the backline. He was looking aggressive. There's Zap's backflip, but still chasing his Shattered. He's going to find the wall as well and clean up with the Berserker Barrage. Meanwhile, in goes Aror, and Aror just disappears.
Shattered played that absolutely perfectly. I don't know exactly how DJ got picked off in that fight, but not only does he poke out Zapman and then he ults away, he waits for the backflip.
Yeah.
And even though Zapman was able to backflip away, because Zapman waited so long, because Shattered had the presence of mind to hold his ultimate, the hammer was back up with that max CDR build he's gone into. So even though the backflip's good, just immediately the follow-up chase, no way Zapman can survive.
So DJ goes down at the start of the fight, then Zap follows, then after that we see Aror go in, and he also dies too. And this is a big power play moment for enemy now, and that's 3 kills.
I mean, at this point, I don't even think enemy needs to go for the Fire Giant. They should just tear down that tier 2. They've got the 5v2 advantage right now. They can start taking out these Phoenixes uncontested. If they do Fire Giant, they do have to worry a little bit about the steal, because we did see the best and Aror combined for it already.
And if they go Phoenix, then Fire Giant, they should have the time.
I mean, they can clean out the towers on the map as well as the Phoenixes here. They're just going to get the uncontested Fire Giant instead. And I mean, if no one's going to contest it on Eager, fine.
I mean, there is still tier 2 towers remaining, so maybe good idea for them to do this here at the moment. But I'm actually looking at this, and I'm getting word from production here that Eager are all out of pauses, unfortunately, and djpernicus has disconnected. That's guess what happened in that engagement there right at the start. He's fallen down, and they don't have any pauses remaining whatsoever to continue. So they're going to play 4v5 against a Fire Giant enemy. That's really grim.
That's unfortunate, because they were barely able to, you know, hang in right now. 24-9 in kills. The tier 2 going to be sieged up. Enemy have Fire Giant in hand. There's nothing they really need to worry about at this point.
Well, they get a tier 2 tower in mid lane. Look for the Phoenix in mid. And after this game is very disappointing, because it was such a back and forth battle, this one. Yeah,
despite the kills, I mean, this game was so close, and that just came from Eager's just how they played the team fights. Their positioning specifically was so strong at that FG.
Well, at the moment, Eager can just all but hope that DJ does manage to get back in this game. But for now, enemy, they got to play to win. You know, that's the whole objective of this game. That's what they get paid for. So here they go, looking for the Ryan Phoenix, shattered in the sky. And on zone duty is Divios for now.
Divios on the front line here, and Shadow just doing this position just to counter engage if Eager tried to kind of come down. The Phoenix actually not touched right now. Enemy having a little bit of trouble trying to break this base against the Zeus specifically. You need to be worried about grouping up with that Chain Lightning and Lightning Storm ultimate.
I mean, nobody's gone back to go and clear the minion wave out as well, so it's going to take a little bit longer here. And I think this may be enemy just giving him a bit of a moment, hoping DJ comes back too, wait for these minions to come in, a bit of respect, I guess, between these two teams. But enemy know they've still got a job to do for the fans as well as for the league. And now with this next minion wave coming in, well, we'll probably see the siege.
5k lead right now from enemy, but it's the Fire Giant in this Phoenix push that's really important. Zapman going to get pinned here, and he's going to be engaged on quickly. Backflips away, but Chaos lining up the ultimates, and he's going to find it with the last shot, switching targets in the final second.
And as he does that, they get the Phoenix too. Marauder still on the front side, keeping Divios and Aror at bay for the now. Divios forced to disengage, and Pain, well, gets the ult off perfectly one more time. We've said that a lot, keeping his teammate alive.
Aror getting pinned down as well. 2 Phoenixes, only 1 remaining right now, but enemy do have to deal with the tower, and instead they're very low, and Eager are pushing forward. Aror finds the chains onto 2 targets, but no one else in position to follow up.
That was hot from Aror. He blinks, gets a chain, back steps away from the duct, and gets the 3rd chain. That was just so cool to watch.
This is a really high level game. Just at the base mechanics, all these players are phenomenal in their own roles. Enemy, we used to not consider that, but I mean, they've just stepped up that last split.
There's no more anymore where we're expecting them to be last, right? That's it.
No one will. I will not expect them to be anything less than 3 at this point, right?
I think any team PainDeViande's on now, if he's the leader of the team, I don't think I can say I expect them bottom.
If he has control of the team,
that's what I meant by leader.
As long as his team trusts them. I mean, and Pain's going to be picking the stars, you know, to fill around him. PainDeViande is just the setup man, right?
It's an unfortunate situation.
He's the watchful protector.
Unfortunate situation for Eager here. With DJ disappearing from this game, it's pretty much in the bag now for enemy as well. I mean, that fight did just happen at the same time, so, you know, it's rough, but the best news is, you know, at least it's week 1. It's not the last week.
Only week 1.
It's not Worlds on the line,
and
right?
everyone's come. This is all about seeding too. Is that everyone is coming to land? There's 4 weeks of online play. Everyone will be there. However, you do want that high seed, because the higher your seed, that means the less likely you're going to be facing off against other strong opponents.
Exactly, because you've got to go through the LAN opportunity, then you go to Super Regionals as well if you can get past the first group stages, and then after that, well, you'll be heading to Worlds if you make it that far. 38 minutes in though. 25-9, and Marauder going to lead his team in on the front.
Final tower here. He pops his shield just to make sure the tower's not going to poke him out too low. He has Fire Giant in hand as well for a couple more seconds, so he's not too worried about this. It will be falling off in about 20 seconds, and enemy have that opportunity to force this. But they might want to play it a little bit safe here and wait for those fire minions on both the other waves.
I really feel if this game had gone the distance between the two teams, we did say
I couldn't call it.
I actually feel like I couldn't call it, and this would have gone down as one of the best matches we've ever had in terms of the Pro League. But here we go, enemy looking to secure the win for themselves here already. Zapman is taken out. The damage coming out there from Khaos was just absolutely insane, and there's a bit more of it, forcing Divios out. And now the Titan will be looked at by enemy. They're looking for the first point in the Pro League, this split, and it looks like they're going to find it.
Aror going in, actually going to force enemy off. off for a little bit here, but all their ultimates are burned outside of Zap, who's currently sitting dead for another 48 seconds. It's going to be a slow trickle down, but enemy come out on top in their opening game. Khaos accounting for 33,000 damage. Best as well on 30K. It was really the story of the mages and kind of who could survive longer in the fights.
When I look back through the whole game, though, it looked like the Game of Throws from Enemy more than anything else. Enemy are the ones getting off to a good lead. They continue trying to do it, but bite off too much. Get Eager back in. Do it again at the Fire Giant. Get Eager back in. DC happens. Enemy wins.
Unfortunate here, but we've got a second game, and just got word that they do have a sub. Eager has a sub. Unfortunately, DJ has not returned, and I believe it's going to be Wowie. So
He's played before, right?
He was the hunter. He actually subbed in for Envy during relegations as their hunter, since Oceans was locked to Allegiance at the time.
Well, a bit of an unfortunate situation, but I guess both teams this time around will be playing with a sub. And talking about subs, Fearno, like he had a fantastic first.
Yeah,
sub.
he was kind of quiet. We didn't really talk about him too much. He did have that. He did have that steal on the gold tier, but really it was just survive Zapman's Neith in lane, which, I mean, with Soul, isn't that hard. Positioned himself very well. I don't think he had a single death by the end of it. And it was something where enemy basically did not have to worry about him messing up.
No, he just played very safe in lane and got himself through. But hopefully, Wowie going to be entering the jungle for Eager this game. Hopefully, he can get off to the same sort of situation that Fearno did.
Hopefully.